Dangal greeting.
Dangal greetings.
Dangal greeting.
Dangal greetings.
Dangal greetings.
Dangal greeting.
Danghal greetings.
Dangal greetings.
Dangal greetings.
Dangal greetings, everyone.
Dangal greetings. Good day everyone. We are pleased to present our project, the Peso to Foreign Currency Converter, a simple yet practical Java console application designed to help us users easily to convert Philippine Peso into various foreign currency. This project was created as part of our programming practice to strengthen our understanding of Java fundamentals. We also aim to practice real-world problem solving by building a tool that demonstrates how basic programming concepts can be applied in practical scenarios.
Hi everyone, I'm Andre Galvez, and today we're diving into the problem understanding and analysis behind our Peso Exchange program. Basically, why did we even make this thing? Let's face it, converting currency can be a pain. You got these different exchange rates, confusing website, and complicated calculation. It's easy to get lost and make mistake, especially when you're in a hurry or don't have a calculator handy. So what does our program need to handle? First, input the user needs to tell the program what currency they want to convert to. That's why I have a number list. They just enter a number from 1 to 9, then they need to tell me how many pesos they want to convert. That's the peso amount input. Of course, people make mistakes. If they enter a number that's not on the list like 10, 11, 12, when there are only 9 currency, the program needs to tell them invalid choice and stop them from going further. Now, for the process, the program needs to do a few things behind the scene. First, it has to match the user's choice that number they entered with the correct exchange rate for that currency. Then, it needs to multiply the peso amount by the exchange rate to get the converted amount. Finally, it needs to assign the right currency symbol like dollar sign, euro sign, and yuan sign to the result. Finally, the output program needs to clearly show the user the converted amount with the correct currency symbol. It needs to be easy to read and understand right away. No one wants to squint and try to figure out what the result means. So that's the problem and how our peso exchange program tackles it by simplifying the input, automating the process, and providing a clear output. It makes currency conversion quick and painless.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Charles Jacob Lozada, and today I'm going to discuss the algorithm. Step 1, basically, this is the start of the execution. Step 2 is initialization. In this step, we're going to declare variables and their values, which are USD rate, U1 rate, Euro rate, and so on. The step 3 is display the interface in the list of codes and its designated values. In this step, it will show the menu and the list of options to the user for them to choose different currencies available and available for conversion. Step 4. In this step, the user will be asked to enter the code of currencies they want to convert to. And the next step is step 5, which is read and store input. So when the user finally input their chosen currency code, the program will read it using input reader. Next, int and store it in a variable. Next step is step 6. Assign user input into existing variable. So the user's input will be assigned into the variable and it will match the correct conversion rate. Step 7 is check if the user input is valid by comparing it to 0. In step 7, the program checks if the conversion rate is greater than 0 to greater than 0, making it valid. If not, the user input is invalid.
Good morning, everyone. I am Frederick Ortega Gecalao, and I'm going to proceed the step 8 in algorithm. So let's start. Step 8. If the user input is valid, ask the user to enter an amount. If invalid, print out invalid input. then terminate the program. So, check if the user input is valid currency type like USD, Peso, Yuan, etc. If valid, proceed to task the user for an amount to convert. If invalid, print invalid input and terminate the program immediately. So, Step 9, after checking the validity of user input, ask user to input an amount with the value of peso. Once you confirm the currency input is valid, prompt the user to input an amount in peso that they want to convert. Next, step 10, read the store user input. So, read the amount entered by the user into a variable amount or peso. Step 11, find the user chosen currency conversion. Determine which currency the user wants to convert to based on their earlier valid input. If user type USD, prepare to convert to USD dollars. So next step is step 12. Search the designated symbols for the chosen conversion value of the user. So look up to the symbol associated with the chosen currency like USD dollars or yuan or peso, etc. to format the output nicely. Step 13. Calculate the conversion rate with the stated value of the chosen conversion variable. So calculate the conversion using the predefined conversion rate. For example, if 1 USD is equals 56 pesos and the user entered 560 pesos, then converted amount into 560 is equals to 10 USD. Next step 14, display the print output. Display the result print something like 560 pesos equals to $10 USD. So the last and finally step is step 15, terminate the program once the result is shown. The program ends cleanly. And that's all. Thank you.
My name is Iwan and I would be discussing the pseudocode. The goal of this program was to convert peso with another currency. Because of that, we prompt the user to choose what type of conversion value they wanted to convert with via entering a code. After entering an input, the program would read it and compare it with existing variables. If the input was equivalent to 1, then the conversion rate would be USD rate with the symbol of US dollars. However, if the input was 2, then the conversion rate would be yuan rate with the symbol of yuan currency.
Dangal greetings. My name is Rayleigh Lorenzo A. Librada, and I will be continuing our pseudocode explanation. By reading the user's input, we could determine the currency chosen by the user. If it's 3, then it's euro rate. If it's 9, then it's yen rate. If the user's input was from none of the choices, the program will print invalid input and terminate it. Moving on, the program will prompt the user to enter an amount. The program would then read the user's input and calculate based on the designated conversion rate. The last step, the program would print a string of words stating what the date exchange rate based on, and then produce the conversion value output. That is all.
My name is Patrick James P. Anito, and this is our group flowchart. Our flowchart begins with the start node terminal in oval shape. This indicates the beginning of the process. The second step is a process box in a rectangle shape. This declares variables. In this step, the program prepares different variables like currency choice, peso input, conversion rate, and the different exchange rates such as USD rate, U1 rate, Euro rate, and so on. This sets up the storage before any input is received. Now we're going to the next step, which is an input-output in a parallelogram sheet. Here, the program shows the title and also display a list of 9 possible currency options for the user. The next step is also an input-output. This displays enter your choice. The program now asks the user to pick which currency they want to convert their peso into. The flowchart then moves to another input-output. This reads the user input, the number they selected from the menu. Next is a decision symbol and a diamond shape. This decides if the currency choice is between 1 and 9, meaning it is a valid choice, and the process continue. If the choice is not valid, the process moves to an input-output that displays invalid input. And then the flows go to the end node in a oval shape. Now let's continue with the valid case. The next step is a process box. Assign conversion rate. This means the program sets the currency exchange rate based on the user chosen currency.
After assigning the conversion rate, the flowchart moves to an input-output symbol that display enter the amount in pesos. At this parallelogram, the program prompts the user to type in how much money they want to convert. Next is another input-output symbol. Read peso input. This records the peso amount entered by the user. The flow goes to a decision symbol is peso input greater than 0. If the amount is greater than 0, the process continues. If not, the program displays invalid input and immediately proceed to the end node. For a valid amount, the program executes a process box in a rectangle shape. Converted value equals peso input times conversion rate. This step multiplies the peso amount by the chosen rate to compute the converted value. After that, result output equals currency symbol plus converted value. Here, the program prepares the formatted result including the correct currency symbol. The flow proceeds to an input-output symbol that display result output. This shows the final converted amount to the user. Finally, the flowchart ends at the end node.
Hello guys, I'm here to tell you something about our group project which is Peso to Foreign Converter. Here we made a new string for a new data type which is equals to our variables which is USD sign is equals to this sign, U1 sign is equals to this sign, Euro sign is equal to this sign, Rupee sign is equal to this sign, Ruble sign is equal to this sign, Baht sign is equal to this sign, Dinar sign is equal to this sign, Real sign is equal to this sign, and Yen sign is equal to this sign. Now we have a new string variables, new data type that we can actually use in helper variables. First, we set a new data type which is user prompt. Result is output or currency symbols. Now here we made a very new scanner for our input. Now this is the crucial part. If you don't set a new scanner to your group project which is like this, you can get an output. I mean you can get still an output but the console won't respond to you. Now we made a printing method that we can actually see right here. If we print it like that. Now you can see it now. Here is the most important thing. First of all, you print this. After you print this is the input you can make. So you can choose here from pesos to US dollars, peso to yuan, peso to euro, and so on. Now, this is the choices that you made. Currency choice is one. If you choose one, which is USD rate, which is right here. USD rate is 0.018. That's our variable.
Asking for peso amount. This block only asks for the peso amount if the user pick a valid currency. If they choose an invalid option, no input is requested. Selecting the correct currency symbol. This block chooses the right currency symbol depending on which rate was used, making the output more user-friendly. Performing the conversion. We created the result output variable to store the final message. If peso input is valid, it multiplies the peso amount by the conversion rate and shows the result with the currency symbol. If not, it shows invalid input, displaying the result. This simply prints the result output to the screen. Closing the scanner, input reader dot close. This is very important, it closes the scanner to prevent memory leaks. To summarize, this Java program demonstrates user input handling, conditional logic using ternary operators, and basic arithmetic for currency conversion. It's easy to expand by adding more currencies or updating grids. We also make sure to add error handling to avoid crashes when users enter a invalid input. And that's the end of the Java implementation or program code of our project.
Greetings everyone, I'm Gonzalvo John Arman M, and I was the one who will present in front of you the part of testing and debugging sample program output with discussion. So some of you may ask, what is this? What is in front of us? Well, let me tell you. In front of you is our option in our program currency calculator. We offer peso to US dollar, peso to yuan, peso to euro, peso to rupee, peso to ruble, peso to baht, peso to dinar, peso to real, and peso to yen. But before we tackle anything, let's try to understand my part easily. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation for you to understand my topic. Sorry to keep you waiting, but here is the testing and debugging. A quick question, why do we need to test a program or debug a program? If you will ask me, I will answer after my discussion. So let's begin. In testing the program, here is the reason why we need to test the program. It helps us to make sure if the program or the code works correctly, safely, and efficiently before using it. And here are my 4 main reasons why do we need to test the program. First, to find errors or the bugs. Testing helps identify mistakes in the code so they can be fixed early. Number 2, check correctness. It ensures the program does what it's supposed to do. So, this number 1 and number 2 helps to analyze which is the common mistakes in our program or in the code rather. So, by analyzing the mistakes, it helps us to avoid confusions. Yes, confusions. Number 3, improved reliability. Testing shows if the program can handle different inputs or unexpected scenarios. So, others will input some invalid characters. So, by this number 3, the users will be aware of your program or the code that you make or create. Number 4, user satisfaction, or should I say user friendly. A well-tested program runs smoothly, giving users a better experience. Like I mentioned before, this part will help you to be aware and to avoid any confusions that you will encounter in your program. Next, here's the link of our program. So, we will visit the Codiva.io to test the program. Yes, the currency calculator. So here we are at the Codiva.io. My part was to test the program. By the way, this is the code of our program currency calculator. We just have to click the run button to show the console or the result of the code, which is the currency calculator program, and there we have it. So some of you might have asked, where do we input the number to choose in the options? Well, as you can see down here, in this tab, you will input any numbers you want to choose. Okay? For example, I will choose peso to US dollar. I will press number 1, then press enter. So the next was the enter the amount in peso. For example, I want to exchange my 1,000 pesos into US dollar. Click enter. Then there you have it. The results is $18. It is based on August 21, 2025. Let's go back on our PowerPoint presentation. Let's go. Sorry to keep you waiting, but here we are. So why do we need to debug the program? Just as I mentioned earlier, or the quick question earlier, here is the answer why. To locate the errors, even if testing shows something is wrong, debugging helps us to trace exactly where in the code the error happens. Number 2, to understand program flow, debugging tools in Java let us run the program step by step and see how variables change. Number 3, to fix crashes, to maintain clarity and to avoid confusions. Number 4, to improve reliability. Debugging ensures the program runs smoothly under all conditions. And number 5, the last number, to save time later. A debug program is easier to maintain and extend. So, what is the difference of testing and debugging? Testing. The purpose of testing is to find the errors in a program. It will focus on checking if the program behaves as expected, usually done by testers or developers. Example, running a program with different inputs to see if it gives correct results. The difference of debugging from testing, the purpose of debugging was to fix errors after they are found. The focus was to identify the cause of the problem and removes it, usually done by developers or programmers. For example, If the program gives the wrong output, the programmer examines the code, finds bug, and corrects it. In short, testing is to find bugs. Debugging was fixing the bugs. Understood? Okay, let's continue. Here is the debugging the program in our program Currency Calculator. Let's begin. Can you find any errors in this picture? Yes, the objectives was to locate the errors. That is the first step of debugging. So the answer is number 5 is missing in the currency option. Test result before debugging. As you can see, this in front of you, have you noticed anything missing? Yes, the peso to ruble. Sorry, that was the number 5. So the task was to make the number 5 peso to ruble appear in the currency options. We simply put the system.out.print ln, then peso to ruble in number 5. The result was this. The number 5 peso to ruble is appeared on the screen or in the console. I hope you learned something I hope you learned something from me. Thank you for understanding the part of testing and debugging the program of Currency Calculator. Thank you everyone, and again, dangal greetings. This is John Arman Gonzalvo, your friendly instructor in our program, the Currency Calculator. Thank you.